Okay, so when I was watching The History of God with Morgan Freeman, and he went over to Tibet to speak with some spiritual leader, like kind of like the Dalai Lama, but not really. It's another spiritual leader. And I guess when they pick these spiritual leaders, they find them when they're really young. And the whole point behind the Buddhist mentality is to look for a soul that they see is a reincarnation of their prior leader. So the belief in reincarnation slash Buddhism is no different than the Laveyan Satanism. They may have differences as far as what happens after death, but they both believe in death. So it makes them actually very, very one of the same and similar. There really isn't a difference between the two. Now, people be like, oh my God, how can you compare Buddhism and Satanism in the same thing? Well, those are the manufactured differences in our society when it comes to the celebration of the death ritual, or the celebration of death and then creating that death ritual. Because I don't see a point in starting over and over and over again. The reason why, the Buddhists believe in being reborn is because they haven't figured out what it takes to live life on this earth. And so they keep having to repeat history. They keep having to repeat what would happen if you actually understood the laws of life and you don't have to keep starting over again and reinventing the wheel. Okay? And so it's very interesting. Now, see, watch that Netflix show, The History of God, and then they also have it on I think, was it the Nat Geo on cable? But you will see all of their mentality around the afterlife. Every single religion or culture that believes in the afterlife all ultimately believe in death. And yes, it is a form of Satanism. Now, what is Satanism? Okay. And this is the LaVey. So I hear a lot about Anton LaVey, and I hear a lot in the MK Ultra world that I came from as far as the conspiracy. And Laveyan Satanism is it accepts no beliefs in an afterlife. Each person comes into existence at birth and disappears at death. The period between one lifetime is a sum of total existence. Therefore, life is something to be enjoyed to its fullest. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that, Jana. I know all about that as far as that. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I was taught reincarnation too and all of that. And it's just a justification to accept death at whatever moment it happens. So that way you're absolved of any responsibility to really understand what it takes to actually live. Like not knowing the formula. When people don't know the formula to life, they accept death and then they justify it. Okay. And so I am bringing these two ideologies that seem so diametrically opposed, but they're not really. How can someone compare Satanism and Buddhism as something that as a comparison, as a similarity? Well, they both believe in death. Death is the ultimate outcome. Regardless of their belief, what happens after they die, it doesn't even matter whether it's heaven or hell or it's reincarnation or nothing. It still doesn't matter. The common denominator is life. The common denominator is life. And we don't even know if Adam and Eve were actually supposed to be, Krista, because there's three different characters that I'm looking at as far as what starts man and fertility. Okay, so there's Adam and Eve, as you've seen earlier. If you look at my past Facebook posts, there's Adam and Eve. There is Mary, Mother of God, and then there is what else? Athena. Now, as far as supposed to live forever, I don't know. What that whole thing with living forever and Adam. I don't. I mean, yeah, I guess they were supposed to live forever based upon if they didn't go and get tempted. But we don't know. I mean, forget that for a minute. I'm just looking at the different religions that are out there. Forget all of the well, what am I trying to say here? The Jehovah's say that they're supposed to live forever. There's a lot of different religions that say they're supposed to live forever, but somehow we have all these different stories that have different ideas of what human came first. I don't know if Adam and Eve is true. I don't know if the Parthenogenesis is true. I don't know if, or as far as Athena, I don't know if Mary, Mother God, is true. Okay, we don't see. Here's the thing: the only way we're going to know if any of those stories are true, because I know where you come from, Krista Pina. You come from the Bible and the Adam and Eve and all the different stories, which is great. Okay, but we don't know if those three are actually true. Now, there are components of a truth, a combination of the truth of maybe how man started, but until we finally peel back the layers of all this stuff and we start actually tapping into the life programming, not the death programming, we won't know if Adam was like the males were the actual first humans and the females were just like in support or a mutation. But then you look at Parthenogenesis, which says the complete opposite. Okay, we have now only the females are able to see. That's condescending. I see where you are at. I don't like that. You're saying that, oh, I mean, I know where you come from. I know you're coming from a very religious Christian point of view, Krista, and I'm not coming from that direction. I'm not struggling to understand Jesus, okay? I don't want you to come from that direction. Please don't do that. When you say, I see where you're at, it says that I'm struggling and I'm not there yet. I'm not where you are yet. Like you are the ultimate place. That's not okay with me. That isn't okay with me at all. Okay? Okay. So anyways, so we don't know what it actually, we will know. Like, okay, so Parthenogenesis, we don't know. I mean, look, Parthenogenesis could be true. Could it be just females creating just females at the end result? Or is Adam the actual original male? And then, is Adam the original male and then is the female in support, the mutation? Okay. And then we have Mary, Mother of God. Okay. Mary, Mother of God is then this whole thing with Parthenogenesis creating a male, which would go completely the opposite of what actual Parthenogenesis is. Okay. So I get where you're coming from, Krista. You trigger me. I'll tell you why you trigger me, because I know where you're coming from. We've had conversations about your Christianity. And I get it. You like to drop scripture. We've had this before. You just came back on my Facebook. You defriended me for a while and you just came back. Okay? I don't know where you disappeared to. I don't know why you defriended me or why I defriended you. I have no idea. But you just came back into the fold and now you're being vocal and we haven't really even figured out why it is that you left to begin with. Okay? So I am still reacting from our previous interaction and I have no idea what your intentions are now. I have no idea. But I'm not trying to be converted to Christianity. I'm not trying to get in that direction. I'm trying to find a way to bring in all of the religions and understand, okay, that regardless of what religion you believe in, if you believe in life, that makes a lot more sense than believing in death. Okay? That's the only place where I'm coming from. All right? So it's going to take a minute for us to reestablish, and I don't really know exactly why you came back, but hey, okay. So, anyways, the belief in reincarnation is a type of celebration of death, and it's no different than Satanism. It really is no different. Okay? Because Satanism is about, do what you will. or whatever it is. Just do whatever you want. Enjoy your life now. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what you do, and then you die. Okay, no, there are repercussions. Well, yeah, do whatever you want, and death is the outcome. That's not what Jilly Juice is about. Okay. Okay, that's not what Jilly Juice is about. So, anyways. But here's it, Krista, just stop commenting, okay? Just stop commenting. Here's the thing, Krista. I have a lot of videos that you need to watch as far as empaths, as far as all these different hormonal things, okay? And I feel I get triggered by you right now. So I think you just need to just chill out, okay? I know where you're coming from, and I get it, and you got to do the J juice, because I have gone over specific hormones from different people that I can get, that I feel, and that I know, that really rub me the wrong way. And oxytocin and the love from somebody, and they come from a very religious point of view, it's overwhelming, and it's, in my honest opinion, it can be very, very manipulative. And so I want anyone that is very into their religion on such a level, to where some people are so vocal about it and will drop scripture left and right, which I told people, stop dropping scripture, stop coming from this whole religious aspect, and please just chill out and do the protocol. Just do the protocol. There's no, right now, it's just do it. Because I've been noticing that I've shed a lot of people that are very, very full of hormones. And some are very hormonally imbalanced in other ways. When you're so loving, it annoys the hell out of me, okay? Because that is an imbalance in one direction, especially when you're coming from a very religious aspect. And so I get very triggered around that, and I have to put a stop to it, okay? And this is where you and I are at right now. Until I see something different, just do the protocol, get the benefits, talk about your testimonies and your journey. And, and that's it. And that's it. But I had a lot of revelations this last like 3 or 4 or 5 months. And you missed a lot of it because you deleted your account. And now you're coming back in trying to catch up. And we're not in the same place. Okay? We're not in the same place. You disappeared for a while. So now you got to just chill out, be quiet, and catch up. Watch all my videos. Because there have been people in my life that I have shed because of the hormonal interaction that doesn't mesh with me anymore. Okay? So I just want you to give you a heads up, because you've chosen to respond and interact with me on my Facebook Lives. So anyone that interacts with me on Facebook Live, you're going to get the honest Jillian. You're going to get exactly where I'm coming from, and I have to set my boundaries. If not, I will be continuously triggered by you, and then I'd have to delete you because I would get tired of being triggered. When I get triggered by someone, there's a reason behind it, and I usually delete them because they don't get it, and they're not going to change unless I tell them, hey, we have a difference of hormones. Okay, let's chill. And I believe it, Timothy Barone. I believe it. I've heard, like my mom said, that she understands Greek mythology. Or not Greek, or the Greek language. She understands it, and she didn't know where, she never learned it. So I believe it, Timothy. I really do. We don't necessarily have to reincarnate. Okay, we can stay, if we just stay living indefinitely, there is no reason to start over again and maybe remember certain memories of past lives, because some of them, yeah, I mean, you could be very, very proficient in something that you learned like a lifetime before, but it doesn't always happen. I don't have any kind of memory, conscious memory, where I would say I lived before, that says that it's like I've had to start over again. Okay, I've had struggles. Imagine if we keep living, we didn't have to struggle anymore. That's what I'm talking about. Is where we can get rid of the struggles. We go through a period of learning, and then we get proficient in everything about our life, and then we continue to then learn, and we don't have to go through the same heartaches of learning and growing up. That's what we're trying to go for. So we don't keep reinventing the wheel and rewriting history. So yeah, I don't discount reincarnation. I'm sure it exists because it's all energy in the universe. It's recycled energy. But do we have to die to do that? Can't we just live and just keep continuously learning and living? Can we? Or if you want to keep violating the laws of your immune system, the laws of the universe and all that, and then you keep starting over again. You keep starting over again all the time, all the time. Okay? So I'm going to liken the reincarnation, the celebration of death, as no different than Satanism. Just the differences of like what happens after you die. That's the only difference. And so, yeah. So anyway, so I didn't mean to go on that tangent there, Krista, but I hadn't really completed with you as far as why you came back. I hadn't really talked to you. Not that I don't like private messages, so I'm sure, you know, but it's not like you sent me a message and said, hey, the reason why I was off and I'm going to catch up and hey, glad to see everything as well. So I needed to get that cleaned up and I needed to establish those boundaries because I'm not the same person as I was before you left. I'm actually quite different and a lot less patient when it comes to hormonal responses. And I have mentioned a lot, there are a lot of empaths out there, major empaths that are really just, I got triggered by them. And I had to leave some of the empaths alone. Like I've cut ties with some of the empaths. Okay. So I know you're an empath, Krista. I know you're an empath. And it has conflicted with me occasionally. So everybody has hormonal imbalances, and some are high adrenaline, high fear, really depressed, all this. Others are so over the top loving and so over the top of their religion that it becomes overwhelming, and it's a type of an imbalance itself. And I'm very, very sensitive to somebody else's hormonal imbalance, and I can't always deal with it. And I don't want to either. And so I would rather that the people that are doing the J juice that will keep those hormones at bay, whether it's trolling me and calling me names or being so loving and so like this and so that I feel it. And I'm like, and I haven't really fully really just understand. Okay. Really understand. So anyways, the belief in reincarnation is no different than Satanism, because it's the death process. So the whole thing with the Dalai Lama, the Buddhism, the yoga, all of these hot yogas and the chanting and the tantric sex, all of this Eastern philosophy that is so trendy and so popular still fall in the death trajectory. The rituals, the fertility rituals, the whole thing with all the different, the spring season, all of the, what they do around, what is it, like May and then October, where they do all these fertility rituals and all of the occult stuff. It's all death rituals. It's all death. It's all around the death process, because regeneration and spring is all about birthing new life. Well, what birthing new life comes from? It comes from death. What would happen if we just continuously live? We don't need to have this upset of homeostasis. We just continuously live. Yeah, some could say it's boring. Oh, we don't have the holidays. I mean, I absolutely love the seasons here in Ohio. I do. However, I mean, you have to get your body, your internal universe on that life trajectory. Even though your outside environment may be upsetting homeostasis, yes, when it gets cold and the seasons change, your body's going to get kind of an upset homeostasis, and it's going to have to then figure out how to adapt. How does it adapt? By nutrition and by jelly juice, the electrolytes, the nutrition, the lactobacillus, and all of that. Okay? And so that way you can live in any environment, and you still need to have shelter and clothes and food and water, but your body will be able to adapt nicely, along with a little bit of help with advanced technology, to be able to live in a colder climate with different seasons changing. Okay? So you can have upset of homeostasis in your environment as long as your internal environment is well balanced and even for the most part. I had an upset of homeostasis of moving. Okay? I had an upset of homeostasis of moving. And so I had to have a period of adjustment. It took me about half a week to adjust to that change. Okay? And so sometimes it may take you guys, a year or two to adjust to the change in your environment when you're doing J-juice, because you have so many mutations that you have to fix. When I did the waterfalls yesterday, and it's been a while since I did waterfalls because my body was so on point that I didn't need to have to do waterfalls. Everything was working perfectly until I got my period, and until I had to move, and then everything went kind of whack, right? So yesterday when I drank my juice and I did a lot of waterfalls, drank like a half a gallon in like a half an hour, I got a slight headache. Now I thought like, oh, maybe I had a shift in my brain, but then Kevin's like, hey, wait, hold on a second, everything is connected. It could be some mutation in your body, and it translated into your brain. Don't think like the allopathic holistic that because you had a headache meant you had some kind of brain damage. No, just like your palms of your hand and the bottoms of your feet and your teeth are all maps of everything in your body, of all the different systems. Okay, and so yeah, so it would make sense that you gotta get yourself acclimated to the changing conditions in your body as well as outside. So if outside's changing and inside's changing, you're going to have a whole upset of homeostasis. But it doesn't mean that you're going to die. It just means that your biochemistry is now finally regulating. But some of you, since you guys are so mutated, it's going to take a while. And some of you fall off the protocol. Like you said, Chris, the other day, you fell off the protocol and you deleted your account. So you haven't been in this conversation for a while, because now you're kind of back to square one. It's okay though, because people get on, they get off the protocol, get off the protocol. Then they leave me and they come back, and they leave me and come back. And I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on here? But that's just part of the process of finally getting your insides on track. Is that there's going to be a fight, the life and death fight. Right now, Chris, you're on a death trajectory. I hope you stay on the protocol and then get on that life trajectory. And then you might see yourself kind of relax in how it is that you introduce Jesus and your religion, so it doesn't come off in a way that would trigger someone that's not really interested. Okay? You will see a change in your demeanor. You might come off even more even. And, how has it changed me? Well, I've put in a lot more boundaries. I have a lot more boundaries than I used to. Before, I would entertain so many different hormonal imbalances, and I'm trying, and then I get caught up in people's hormones. I get caught up in their drama. That's what happened the last 6 months, is I didn't know my own boundaries. So I got caught up in everybody's drama, even on the J-juice. So much drama out there. And finally, when I finally just got my hormones in well balanced, I stayed with the protocol. I kept drinking my juice, and I started getting revelations. Then I started seeing a change in my boundaries. Okay? And that's the thing, is that when you establish boundaries, it's when then you finally are able to then let go of the people that trigger you, and I give them a clear communication. And so that's all I'm saying. So just chill out, okay? No more comments. Just do the protocol, all right? You learn to let your actions speak louder than your words, but you're still speaking. Where's the action? Okay? So just chill out. Do the protocol. Post it on your Facebook. Those are actions that will translate in your words. Right now it's just words, but we don't see any action. That's my whole point. I like to see people actually translating their action into words. And when you post your process on on your Facebook, then you're seeing the action, and then you have every right to say whatever words you want, because you are actually doing what you say you're doing. Okay? And so I've learned now to create boundaries, and I had to do it publicly. But that teaches everybody else how to create boundaries. I mean, I'm learning how to deal with my own biochemistry, and everyone else is learning with me. And then they set their own boundaries and they start, making changes in their life. And so we know that people are going to fall off and get back on, fall off, but that's fine. Just do it and then just go with it. You go in my discussion forum, talk about it, ask the questions, post on your Facebook, help your friends and family. I mean, those are, especially if you've already been doing this for a while, then you already created that presence. People know who you are, and it's not going to be too shocking when someone's like, oh my God, you're crazy. Okay, so anyways, I really wanted to really expound upon the whole thing with Satanism and the life and death absolutes, because there really is an absolute. Life is absolute and death is absolute. There is no in between. And so I choose life in every single aspect of my being. It's all about life. As far as humanity, okay? Now, as far as, me eating chicken and killing a chicken, I haven't killed a chicken. That's biochemistry. So if someone says, oh, you eat chicken, so how can we believe in life? Well, I mean, here, look. Biochemistry, humanity, the collective out there isn't exactly on the same track. So I am a product of my environment, okay? But I'm looking at humanity first. Let's get humanity on a life trajectory. Then we can think about all the animals that we can't see. And then we can try to see if, like, will I ever stop ever eating chicken? I don't know. Are we made to eat meat? Yeah, we can eat meat, but I mean, I don't even want to get on the whole vegan vegetarian. Your biochemistry is going to dictate exactly. Your biochemistry is going to dictate exactly where you need to be, and you keep drinking the J juice, and then we'll see what happens. Okay? So, yeah. Wow. Interesting see how powerful we are, you guys? Do you see how powerful our presence is? Sometimes I wonder, I look at each human, and I look at, when you have these humans that make a lot of money, like one person in the family is making all the money. That person is so powerful, because if that person disappeared, where is the money? Okay? That's what's amazing, is that Krista, you're a very powerful young lady. You're so powerful that you triggered me into this, into whatever. Imagine if you took that power in a different direction and you created a huge life trajectory, and it translates into everything that you do. Do you see how powerful that we are? We can channel this power into a life-giving force. And even us, as mutated as we are, all of us, we have so much power. Okay? And I don't think, Timothy, that she's speaking to you. She's replying to me. Because I know Krista for a while, for a few years now. Okay? But just realize the power that you have. Okay? And realize that you can channel that power for good. And there are ways of which you can channel it to where it is a life-giving force, to where you're on a life trajectory, not a death trajectory, and you're promoting life for the most part. Okay, I'm not 100%. I can't even begin to say. I mean, I am relative to where I was a couple of years ago, 100%, because I'm way better. Is it 100%? I guess, how do you quantify? Because maybe I can be even better in the next 5 years. I don't know, but today I feel 100% healed and sealed today. But maybe I can be 200% tomorrow or in the next 5 years. But all I can do is look at today. So I am 100% healed and sealed today because I know how to get my body back into balance when there is an upset of homeostasis. Because when there's an upset of homeostasis, which is like a mutation, it does put you on a death trajectory until you fix it. So me moving, okay, and then my period is a sign of a death trajectory, because there's still mutations, and it still shows that, okay, that she's still on that death trajectory, but we are in the process of reversing it, and here are the signs, okay? But I know I'm not 100%, but I'm 100% according to how I felt 2 years ago. So now I'm thinking what a real 100% is when you don't ever get your period, but there's no way to know. So I have to live day by day. So I am 100% according to where I was 2 years ago. How is that going to look for you guys? It's all individual. There is no one person that can have the same 100% feeling because we all have different mutations based on our past, present, and future triggers, okay? And we have to stick with the protocol. We cannot give up on it. We've got to stay on that life trajectory so we don't fall into believing the celebration of the death ritual, okay? That's my whole point, is we get away from celebrating death, promoting death. We can acknowledge death. We know it exists because that's if you violate the laws, but it doesn't mean that you have to go there. So anyways, that's it. So interesting. All right, so y'all just do the protocol, get your hormones in balance. If you're not doing the protocol, then don't say anything. If you're in the process and you just got on the protocol, just chill out. Use my discussion forum for your questions. But if you just came back to me, just observe. Don't jump in as if right now that you know where I'm at. You got to get yourself caught up to where I'm at, okay? And just stay with it. Really, just stay with it. Because it's tough to start over again when you quit it for a certain amount of time. I mean, even after me not drinking like the 2 gallon or the 2 quarts, it's been a couple of months I've done the 2 quarts, maybe a month or 2. So when I did the 2 quarts in like one sitting, almost 3 quarts, I was chilly and I was doing a lot of waterfalls, but I was chilly, which means that, you know, I was getting my body back in sync again. Okay, so it's hard to start and stop and start and stop, but you'll know when you don't, like, I don't do waterfalls all the time, but when I haven't done the waterfalls, but I'm drinking here and there, but my body is really on point and it's regular and everything else. And then when I have an upset of homeostasis, like moving and menstruation, yes, that does put things cattywampus, and then I have to reset my body back to what it was prior to that upset of homeostasis. Okay, so when you guys have any major things that go on in your life, like job changes, marriages, divorces, adopting children, new jobs, quitting jobs, new dogs, any kind of change to your routine, do the J juice. Do more of the J juice, because it is an upset of homeostasis. Okay, it is. Okay, and it does put you on a specific trajectory. Okay, all right, so, or a death trajectory. So you got to always reset your body when you have an upset. And right now you guys are probably really, really mutated, so just keep drinking the juice. And then we get to a certain point where everything is wonderful and you see a major difference and you revert to the hands of time. Then when you have an upset of homeostasis, then you drink a lot of juice to make up for those mutations. Because working out, when I was actually moving and driving the stuff and moving and picking up stuff and running up and down the stairs and doing it, that was a lot of upset. Working out destroys the body. So any of you that work out, you are destroying your body, okay? Don't work out. Don't need to do any hot yoga. Don't need to do any tantric sex or any tantric stuff. Get away from the hormone-inducing type protocols. Just drink the J juice and let your body finally get back to what it was supposed to be. Let the nutrients determine the healing process or the regeneration process, because it is regeneration. You're not degrading anymore when you're on J juice, but when you stop the J juice, you're degrading, and then your hormones get out of whack. Okay? So, do the J juice. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.